Hi, I'm Nicole Philipp, and I'm here at Tech at Barcelona. And today I have live with me Anja Giering from BASF, who is the VAT expert, and I have Torsten Zube with me, the head of Innovation Center Network. So the first question goes to you, Torsten. Can you tell us a little bit more about your mission as you're the head of Innovation Center Network?
Yes, so the Innovation Center Network is part of a big organization that is called New Ventures and Technologies, actually led by our Chief Innovation Officer, Max Wessel. And we basically work on transformative innovation. We call it Horizon 3 innovation to future-proof SAP. And what that means is we need to understand like trends, technological trends, emerging technologies, and then innovate them from a technology perspective and incubate them within SAP.
Okay, so this would be my next question, as it contains in your talk Horizon 3. Can you give us a little bit more details about that?
Yes,
topic?
sure. I mean, usually I talk, when I talk about Horizon 1, 2, and 3, the first question I would ask back to you is, what is innovation, right? And I make it short for you, but innovation from my perspective, how I define it, is three things. We do something new, so we invent something, but also it has to add value. So new and value. And I used to work in the product development area as well. And I did every day, I did something new, and I did something, hopefully, that created value.
Yeah.
So this is what we call incremental innovation, so Horizon 1, and everyone is doing that in product development. On the other side of the spectrum, what we call Horizon 3, this is where we look into technology where we're not that sure anymore. So from a product development perspective, you know how to do it and what the value is, so you can plan it, you have a backlog. What we do, we look into emerging technologies where we have an idea how it could help, how it could affect the products, the processes of our customers, but it's not certain, or we do not even know what the market opportunity is with that. So there is a high uncertainness, and this is why we call it Horizon 3, so the opposite side of the spectrum when it comes to innovation.
Okay, great. And that leads me to the next question, as there's a big hype around the emerging technologies. One question is, how do you decide which technologies matter? And how do you assess their potential impact?
And that's actually not that easy as it sounds.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, of course, there is kind of the top 10 emerging technologies, right? But that's not enough. I mean, we have to have an understanding of what will matter in the future. So what we do in NVT is we build a technology radar, or we call it emerging technology radar, where we identify those technologies. But then we have to understand how do they affect the applications, the solution SAP builds, but even more important, how will it be relevant to our customers and their processes? So we evaluate those, we assess them, we rank them, but then we also need to align with the rest of SAP, with the lines of businesses, with their heads, to see whether they believe into certain concepts. So we have a kind of maturity model and ranking, and with that we make decisions whether we kind of put it to monitoring and just look at it on a constant basis to see how it evolves, or whether we do more investments into that, kind of explore projects, going into validation, building prototypes, proof of values, but that's very important at the end of the day, to see whether we can put it into a productive environment for SAP and for our customers.
Okay, that's really interesting, Torsten. And another question and another topic would also be, as you gave us already insights about SAP's blockchain journey, can you give us more information about SAP's strategy on the future on enterprise blockchain?
Yes, sure. I mean, before the role of head of ICN, I was actually leading the blockchain initiative within SAP. And then for the last 2 to 3 years, we spent quite a lot effort actually, on understanding what blockchain is. Where does it add value right now? What is more like the bigger picture? And we kind of classified, as I said before, the technology. And we actually built, from a technology perspective, services that enabled application developers to build on top of that. With that even, we have been able to build solutions like Cell Return in life science or farm to consumer, where we can trace food along the supply chain. So end-to-end applications using blockchain technologies, and we're continuing on that track to make it available. But what we also learned is that very often when people came to us talking about blockchain and their use cases, actually we figured out it's not a good idea to put everything on the blockchain. Because on the one side it's kind of cool because it's transparent, we are all one network, everyone accesses it, super efficient, easier, things like that. But it's not always good to have this transparency because there is kind of data that you don't want to share with everyone. And that brought us to the idea that we need to rethink a little bit, not like putting blockchain into the center of everything, but really to understand how can we leverage today's environments, because we have already communications with our partners, so systems to system communications are already there. Our customers already communicate with their business network. How can we now, based on that, use blockchain as a technology to notarize these data exchanges between them? And this is what we have figured out, and based on the common blockchain strategy that we have, where we focus on now. And in addition, of course, also going way beyond that, like tokenization, the future of value transfer and everything else.
Okay, great. So thank you, Torsten. And coming back to Anja, tell us a little bit about the cooperation with NVT.
Yes, we started with different design thinking workshops, and within these workshops we talked about the upcoming challenges we will have with the beginning of next year. So selling companies like BASF have to provide different documents to the tax authorities to keep tax-exempt inter-community supplies. And these documents we have to provide from different parties which are involved, but we don't know all the involved parties. So we are not able to gather all the required documents because we don't know the parties which are involved and couldn't get in contact with them to get these documents. And we really hope to find a technical solution for that problem.
Okay, great. And very interesting question is also, how do you future-proof your business plan?
Yes, our biggest priority is to find technical solution or new technology which will help us to minimize that financial risk. We want to avoid the unnecessary costs we have to pay in that case where we are not able to provide these documents to the tax authorities and pay VAT, which is not needed.
Okay, thank you, Anja. Thanks for joining me today, Anja and Torsten. And if you would like to learn more, please click on the link below, and thank you for watching.